Assalamu alaikum. I'll just share the slides and then we can inshallah go ahead. Uh, Today, what we are going to do is have a revision of the passive voice and also take the mazid fee along with it so that we have a little more clarity on some of the grammatical aspects. So, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri, wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, we are doing the course 4, grammar, page 12, point of B. This is not important. So, what we're going to do today is fi'le majhool. Majhool means passive voice. Okay, and till now we have done the feminine pronouns ha, hunna. We have seen that. We did a verbal table for feminine gender as well, where we saw the plurals, how it is taken, and the second person taf'alina. Then we saw the dual forms in the verb table, and now we are going to be learning the passive. So in the course 2 we had just touched upon this. We had done it for the verb nasara. Nasara means he helped. So this is active voice, and the TPI sign of maf'ul is shown with the receiving hand. So maf'ul, we have been doing this, fa'il, and maf'ul is receiving hand, right? Fa'il is the one who is giving and maf'ul is the one who is taking. So nasara, we are doing he helped, nasara. So when we are seeing the passive voice, we'll use the same hand style where it is a receiving kind. That's why nasara is like this. And when we are doing a passive voice, we will do like this. Nusira means he was helped. So one is nasara, he helped, and one is nusira means he was helped, right? So once we know the nusira is a passive voice, we can make the full conjugation for that. Nusira, nusira, nusiru, nusirta, nusirtum, nusirtuma, nusirtum, nusirtu, nusirna, nusirna, right? And the feminine will be nusirat, right? So one was nasara and the full gardan, and this is nusira means he was helped. Nasara, he helped, and nusira means he received help or he was helped. That's why this is a passive form. So just the change of nasa to nusi is what makes the difference. So this is how the passive voice is made for the past tense. The conjugation will remain same. Nusira, nusiru, nusirta, nusirtum, nusirtu, nusirna, and nusirat. The ones behind is going to remain the same. The things behind is going to remain the same. That is waw, alif, ta, tu, tum, na, and at is going to remain the same as it is in the past tense. The only difference in this is fa'ala becomes fu'ila, and the gardan will remain as the same. Fu'ila, fu'ilu, fu'ilta, fu'iltum, fu'iltu, fu'ilna. That way. Okay. Now, nasara becomes yansuru in the active voice, right? But in the passive voice, it will be yun saru, right? So who will tell me what is the difference between yun saru and the fourth form? What is the difference between this and the fourth form? What is the fourth form? Aslama. So present tense of aslama is what?
Yuslimu.
Yuslimu, mashallah, right? But here we have what? Yunsaru. So we have a fatha. That is how it differentiates from the fourth form. So just one difference, and that is how you will be able to differentiate it from the fourth form of mazid fi. Okay, I'll just highlight that so that that becomes a little clear to you. We have discussed before that whenever we have a dhamma, it could be either form number 2, but that has a shadda. This word doesn't have any shadda. Then the second possibility could be hasaba, but there is no extra alif here. The only thing that remains is the fourth form, aslama yuslimu. So in yuslimu, we have a kasra, which is missing here, and instead of kasra, we have a fatha here, right? So this is how we differentiate a passive voice from a active voice of the fourth form. Okay. So I'll just write it down so that that thing becomes a little more clear and you do not get confused with it. I'll write it with a bold one. Okay. So we have aslama, I'll write directly the present tense form only. Aslama yuslimu. Okay. We have a you, use, li, and mu, right? Here word we have, here the word that we have is yunsaru. So the only difference is that of this fatha and kasra. I'll change the color so that okay. So here we have a kasra in the fourth form, present tense, and in the passive form we have a fatha, yun saru, right? So when we look at this, we'll come to know what particular thing it is, whether it is passive voice or it is active voice of the fourth form, because the dhamma is going to remain there. So dhamma comes in the fourth form, and that is what you can get confused with the passive form. So then you see the ain kalima, if it has a kasra, it is fourth form, and if it is a fatha, it is the passive voice. Is this point clear? So this is the most important point for today. This point is clear? Yeah, somebody say yes. If no, then I'll elaborate it further. This thing is clear, the fatha and the kasra. The zair in the fourth form. This is the fourth form. I'll write it in big. This is the fourth form. And this is the passive voice.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right. So just remember this. This is the most important thing for today's class. If you have picked this up, I would say then you have done good, inshallah. Okay. So then let's practice the present tense yun saru, and the format will remain same. The other first two things or three alphabets will be the same, and then everything will be like before. So yun saru, yun saruna, tun saru, tun saruna, un saru, nun saru. You have to keep in mind when you are saying these words. Yun saru, he is being helped. Yun saruna, they all are being helped. Tun saru, you are being helped. Tun saruna, you all are being helped. See my hand, it is not like this, it is like this because the help is being received, passive voice, right? So tun saru and tun saruna, un saru, I am being helped, and nun saru, we all are being helped, and feminine will be tun saru, she is being helped. Okay. This karnan is same like what we have for most of our other conjugations. We'll take few more words. So we can take another word, razaka, means he provided. So somebody tell me what is a passive voice for razaka? Passive voice for razaka?
Ruzika.
Ruzika, mashallah. So everything passive will have fu'ila, ruzika. So ruzika, ruziku, ruzikta, ruziktum, ruziktu, ruzikna, and ruzikat. This is the full conjugation for that. And we will take some spoken Arabic with that now. Hal ruzika, what does it mean? Is he provided risk, right? Ruzika is passive voice. So the question here is hal ruzika, hal razaka would mean has he provided. Hal ruzika means has he been provided. Okay. So hal ruzika, what will be the answer?
Naam ruzika.
Ruzika, third person will remain same. Hal
Naam
ruziku, hal ruziku, have they all been provided?
Naam ruziqu.
Right? So this is the power of Allah. Allah Ta'ala has provided for everybody, right? Ruziku kulluhum. Hal ruzikta, have you been provided?
نعم رزقت
Ruziktu, yes, I have been provided. Hal ruziktum, have you all been provided? You are called. Everybody can unmute and answer. Hal
نعم رزقنا
نعم رزقنا.
نعم رزقنا.
MashaAllah. Naam ruzikna. Okay. So, with the same way we can take it for the other words. Sami'a, whether it is any form, whether it is fataha, nasara, daraba, sami'a, or karuma, everything will have the same format, right? So,
حسب
sami'a will become sumi'a.
سمع
Becomes sami'a, he heard, sumi'a,
he was
heard, right? मतलब उसने किसी को सुनाया. He was heard, right?
وعد
Wa'ada means he promised or he warned. Wu'ida, he was promised, right? So now we know the pattern of fu'ila. So qala becomes qu'ila. Qu'ila is difficult. That's why it has been changed to kila, right? So we have this a lot of times coming in the Quran. وَإِذَا كِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when they
وإذا
are said,
قيل لهم
when jab unko kaha gaya, when they are told, right? So that is a passive voice. So now we can understand how the active voice is working and how the passive voice is working. So when there is kala, it is he said, and when it is kila, means he is told, right? When it is told to them, jab unhone suna, in fact, when it is keel, matlab unhone suna, kisi aur ki baat suni, right? And sumia again will have an opposite meaning completely, right? That's why knowing these active and passive forms are important. Otherwise, you will take a completely wrong meaning of the words. Hada means he guided. Hudiya, he was guided. So in English, simple, just add was and the action is done on that. Sami'a, he heard. Sumi'a, he was heard. He was heard means he told somebody and then somebody heard what he's saying, right? So Hada and Hudiya, Hada means he guided and Hudiya means he was guided. Qala means he said and Kila means he was told. Matlab he listened to something that was told to him. Wa'ada, he was promised or he was threatened, and wu'ida, it was promised. So with that, let us take the fi'l mudari of razaqa. Razaqa was ruzika in the past tense, and the present tense of this passive form will be yurzaqu, like yunsaru. So pattern is going to remain same. Yunsaru, yunsaruna. So yurzaqu, yurzaquna, turzaqu, turzaquna, urzaqu, nurzaqu, and feminine form is turzaqu. Okay, so this is same. We just took another example of razaqa in the present tense. So again, now we'll take the present tense questions. Hal yurzaqu, is he being provided?
نعم يرزق
Yes, he is being provided. Hal yurzaquna.
نعم يرزقون
Yes, mashallah. Then we have hal turzaqu, are you being provided?
نعم أرزق
Yes, I am being provided. Now all of you can unmute your mic and then say together. I will ask the question and after that you all can answer together. So unmute your mics and be ready. Hal turzaqun.
نعم
نعم نرزق.
نرزق
Mashallah. Right, so that we know that we are all being provided. Alhamdulillah. So the pattern is going to remain same for the present tense also. So yasma'u, sami'a, yasma'u. Here it will be yusma'u. And as I told you before, here we have a fatha that differentiates it from the fourth form. So fourth form we have yusmi'u, right? So, but as we know, all the words don't have a fourth form and all the words don't have all forms. So that's why we should know which form and we should know whether it is active or passive. So yasma'u becomes yusma'u, and then we can make the full gardan yusma'u, yusma'una, tusma'u, tusma'una, usma'u, nusma'u, and tusma'u. Then wa'ada had become ya'idu in the active voice. Wa'ada ya'idu. Here it becomes yu'adu. Yu'adu. When you were promised. Yu'adun. Ma tu'adun. What you were promised. Right? Yu'adun. You were promised. Ya'idu. Yu'adu. They were promised. Yaqulu. He says. Yuqalu. You are being told. And Palu, you are being told. Yahdi, he is guiding. Yuhda, they are being guided. Okay, Yuhda, or he is being guided. Yuhda. Yuhduna. Just mute your mics. Disturbance, please mute your mic. Who is it? Okay, right. Right, so now we'll take it for mazid fi also, and how it will work for mazid fi. As an example, let us take allama. Allama means, what is the meaning of allama? He taught. And ullima, he was taught. Allama, he taught. Ullima, he was taught. Sikhaya gaya. Right? So ullima, he was taught. Whole gardan will remain same for ullima as well. Okay. So ullima, ullimu, ullimta, ullimtum, ullimtu, ullimna, and ullimat. This is the past tense. Same way we will have it for hasaba. Hasaba becomes husiba. Hasaba means he took account. Husiba means he was taken account. Uska account liya gaya. Okay? Hasaba means usne account liya. He took an account. Husiba means his account was taken. Okay? It's a passive voice. Anzala, he came down. Unzila, he was sent down. Okay? Awha is to send a wahi. Awha is to send a wahi.
सात को भेज
وهي
सात का नंबर है आज.
Okay, right. Awha and uhiya. Awha means he gave wahi, and uhiya, he was given wahi. Ikhtalafa, he deferred. Tulifa, it was deferred. Right? So this is the active and the passive word for different forms. This is the fourth form. So anzala becomes unzila. This is the past tense. Anzala becomes unzila. Okay. Now let us take the present tense with yu'allamu. So ullima, allama becomes ullima, and allama yu'allimu becomes yu'allamu.
يعلم
For the past in the present tense. So yu'allimu is with the normal form, and passive voice is yu'allamu, because that you is already present. The only way you can differentiate is this zabar. I'll just highlight it so that becomes again a little more clear. I'll write it down. So allama present tense is, I'll take a red color. Allama becomes yu'allimu, and okay. Sorry, this dots.
علم يعلم
Yeah, I'll just highlight it just a minute.
تعليم.
Yeah, allama yu'allimu. I'm not putting the yeah. So this is you. Sorry. Allama, we have yu'allimu. Shaddayar yu'al kasra yu'allimu. Right? Now for the passive voice, it becomes
يعلم.
yu'allamu. This the green is yu'allamu. This is the green is passive voice, right? And this is the active voice. Yu'allimu is active voice, and the passive voice is yu'allamu. Okay, this is the only difference. So when you have a yu'allimu versus a yu'allamu, yu'allamu means he is being taught, and yu'allimu, he learned, right? He learned by himself. Yu'allamu, yu'allamuna, tu'allamu, tu'allamuna, u'allamu, nu'allamu, and feminine will be tu'allamu, right? So this is the difference. Again, you have to remember this, that in there'll be a fatha in case of a passive voice for the mazid fi. This is one example that we have taken, and with that we have you can take a lot of examples and practice the same way. You have a lot of words with you now. Now hasaba, yuhasibu, right? And the present tense becomes yuhasabu. Like you have allama yuallimu becomes yuallamu. Here we have yuhasabu. Okay. Yunzila and yunzalu. Yunzilu, yunzalu. Okay. Again, this is the passive voice. Yunzalu. So if you see, the sound is similar. Yunsaru, yuf'alu is the same. Only the active it will be yunzilu with a dhamma as well as a kasra. In the past, passive voice will be with a fatha. Yuhi, he revealed, and yuha, it was revealed or is being revealed. Right? This is present tense. Yuhi, he is revealing, and yuha, it was being revealed to him. Yakhtalifu, he is differing. Yukhtalafu, it was being differed. Right? So there was a difference of opinion, something like that. Right? So there are a lot of forms and a lot of words. You already have a lot of words, but just take these patterns and just write. Take a classical example and write each of that. It is quite a bit that we have covered today. I would like to ask you, if you want a revision of this, we can take a revision of this grammar again next time, or we can go for fresh if you want, if you are okay with it. So just let me know, because this is something which you should know, and it is being it is coming very commonly in the Quran. So whenever it is coming, you should know the passive voice, the active voice, what form it is, and that would cover most of the things, right? So when we have a dhamma, what are the possibilities? When we have a dhamma, what do we see to know whether it is active or passive? So when you're translating and when you're listening, you should know what words are coming, and whether there is a fatha or a dhamma. And again, with that, it becomes very important to know that small mistakes are not small mistakes. One small mistakes of qala and kila would mean completely different things, and sami'a and yusma would be completely will be completely different. Fu'ila, sumi'a will be something completely different. So you need to write them, practice them, so that you all are able to understand these differences. So if the Arab is being read wrong, the meaning can get completely changed only with the form. One is qatala, he killed, and one is qutila, he was killed. So just imagine the difference between qatala and qutila, right? So this is how an active and passive in the present tense can make a lot of difference. So qatala yaqtulu, right? And yuqtalu, right? So the present tense of passive and active. So just try to keep that in mind and try to practice it. Maybe you can say a lot of times and write it. If you write it, inshallah, it will become very clear to you, the difference. So it is not very complex, but it is very, very important to get this. So that one slide that I showed, that is the most important, to know that pattern of the passive voice. Nasara becomes what? What becomes Nasara passive form is what? Fu'ila. What will become? Somebody, Nasara passive voice. Yeah, passive voice of Nasara.
Nusira.
Nusira, yes, Nusira.
Nusira.
And present tense? Present tense, passive voice.
Yunsaru.
Yunsaru. Very good, right? So if you know one, then it is easy for you to extrapolate and take it to the others. But we have done on actually a lot of things today, passive voice of a lot of types. So allama, yu'allimu, and ullima, yu'allamu. That also, to take a lot of words and try to practice. So next time on, you want this only, or I think this is passive is enough. We keep revising as we go ahead. But if this concept should be very, very clear, because otherwise there'll be confusion. When the words also come, you will be confused whether it is active voice or passive voice. Once you see the word, you should be clear on what it is. So today's grammar part is clear. It will require a little practice. Inshallah, with the practice, it will come. Any questions for the grammar? I'll stop the recording so that